Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2020, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Our hope is that these candidate interviews and profiles will help you, the voter, understand your choices when it comes to casting your ballot in the 2020 elections. While we can all agree that an informed candidate is important, we believe informed voters make all the difference. So we ask you to arm yourself with the information necessary to make an educated choice and to make casting your vote a priority, regardless of how you do it this year, mail-in or in person. Please visit shakopee.org to find out all of the information you'll need to know about the upcoming election, including polling places and times, and a link to the Secretary of State website for mail-in voting options. Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2020, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angie Whitcomb, and this morning I am joined by Marty Pleasant, who is seeking election to the Scott County Board of Commissioners this November. Marty, thanks for joining us today. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Angie.
Why don't you tell the voters at home a little bit about yourself?
Again, my name is Marty Pleasant, and I'm running for Scott County Commissioner District 2. I'm a conservative. I'm not a politician. I'm a regular citizen that wanted to step up and do something for my county. I run a family farm just south of Prior Lake, and I also run my own business, and my husband runs his own business. My business is Pleasant Consulting. It's an IT staffing firm, and my husband's business is the Seamless Gutter business. I'm very hardworking. I grew up on a family farm in Iowa, moved to Minnesota 20 years ago, and we've owned our family farm for 11 years. In my business, I deal with budgets, payroll, staffing, negotiations, and human resources. So I think I'm a very good fit for this job. I've also served for over 20 years on not-for-profit boards, including the JC's and Minnesota Talent and Recruiter Network.
Great. Well, Marty, we're glad you're here today. Let's dive right in. So what do you see as the most pressing issues in Scott County? And if elected, what are your thoughts on how to resolve them?
So are you looking for one or two or three, four? I have quite
most pressing.
The most pressing.
I'm going to let you prioritize.
I think, well, I'll go over my top four and then just a couple of things that I think we can do about them. Obviously, the number one thing right now on everyone's mind is COVID and the impacts to people and businesses in our area. And I think the main thing there is we need to really keep in mind that it's not just keeping people away from a virus, but also keeping in mind their mental health, their fiscal health, and their physical health to make sure they're still going to doctor's appointments and taking care of themselves in other ways and not just trying to avoid a virus. I think a second issue that I'm concerned about is city and township growth and the different annexations and things that are going on there, and also trying to bring, we want to grow our county and grow businesses, but at the same time, we want to keep our rural areas rural. So having a great plan to kind of keep it separate, because we all love to be able to drive into the city and be able to go to our retail store very quickly and be able to have jobs that are local, but we also want to have our country and be able to have animals and do those kind of things.
Thank you. So do you believe that the county should make any changes to its allocation of resources to policing or mental health services?
So I love this question because I think it's actually one of the other ones I had in my list of things, but I wanted to keep it a little shorter. I think that, number one, I think we really need to support our law enforcement right now. There's a lot of talk of not supporting and defunding, and that's not okay with me. I think we need to keep funding our sheriff's department, our police department, and help them out also by and adding additional funding into mental health, because that's where a lot of the issues come from, and the police end up dealing with a lot of mental health issues. And if we can increase the help in that area and make sure our citizens are getting help in that area, hopefully it decreases the problems that the police are having and the sheriff's department's having. So I think we definitely do not need to lower the amount of money going into that department as far as the amount of officers we have on staff. But, maybe we look at some other cost-cutting measures for people that aren't actually on the front lines. But at the same time, we need to keep that amount of people there and help people with their mental health problems too.
Great. What do you think the responsibilities of Scott County are as it relates to COVID-19?
Well, this is a tough question, I think, because, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I feel like our hands are somewhat tied by the governor, and the governor has made decisions that Scott County can't really overthrow. And that's too bad. I think that some of the decisions that he made, choosing to let big box stores stay open and closing down small businesses was a wrong choice. And I also think that picking and choosing that a farmer's market can be open, but a car show can't when it's all outside and the car show has food too and food trucks and vendors. It's a very similar type of event. And people's mental health is very much, I think, increased being able to have entertainment and things to do and things that they love to do.
Yeah.
So I think we've made a lot of mistakes with COVID, but, it's not, unfortunately, I think the governor should actually let the counties have some more decision making too, because what Hennepin County and Ramsey County faces is not the same that Scott or Rice or Le Sueur County faces.
Great. Thank you. So, Marty, what is the status of the relationship between Scott County and the individual cities within the county? And what would you do to build upon and strengthen those relationships?
Well, I'm not currently a county commissioner, so I don't have deep understanding of that, but I have talked to other county commissioners and people in the city. And from my understanding, the relationship is very good right now. And I think that needs to continue, and we need to keep an open line of communication between the two. And there's things we can do about having, more meetings and things like that, but I think we need to work together in partnership. One thing I have heard as I've been going out and getting into the community is a lot of people feel that the government really doesn't listen to them or think about them. And when I talk to them, I say, well, what do you think that they're not hearing from you and not listening to you? And one of the things that everyone says is they have no idea if they have a concern, who to tell, and they have no voice. And I think an easy way to fix that is we could build some sort of a community website that's not county, not city, not township, but it's for all this area in the county. But we include that and we say, if this, here's a place you can voice your concerns. Here's a place if you have a problem. People that I talked to, there's one lady that she had this huge problem and she kept going to the city of Prior Lake. And I said, why are you going to the city of Prior Lake? You live in Spring Lake Township. Go to your township. And she had no idea that there was even a township board or somebody at the township that could help her with her issues. So I think we need to increase education and do that so that we can all work together to have a better community.
Great. Thank you. Our final question. As the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce, we are unapologetically pro-Shakopee and unapologetically pro-business. How is your agenda pro-business, and how do you think that differs from your opponent? As I said before, I'm a business owner, a small business owner. My husband is a small business owner. I help him with his business too. And we run a small family farm where we have goats, chickens, pigs. So we understand both sides of business and non-business very well. I think that Shakopee and Savage both in particular have a huge opportunity to grow still. They have the space to grow. We can definitely do incentives and things to bring businesses, corporations into this area. I think that if we do that, I think I will see more prosperity with more jobs. And also, I think we can help our community, our citizens by not having longer commutes, by sending our citizens into the inner city to work. We need to bring some of those jobs down to this area, again, while keeping the rural areas rural, because not everybody wants, a big box store or that on their corner. But Shakopee, and especially Shakopee and Savage to a point, have tons of room to grow. Thank you. So, Marty, as we close out here, why don't you take the next 30 seconds and look at the camera and tell the voters at home why you want them to vote for you this November or sooner? As it turns out.
We do have early voting this year. So I'd like to say that I am not running for this position for the title. I'm not running for this position because I want to have a government position. I feel that very strongly that individual citizens should step up and help run our government, and we shouldn't have professional politicians. If we keep electing career-long politicians, all of a sudden we're no longer represented by our peers, but we're all of a sudden represented by someone who doesn't have our best interests in mind because they really don't know what the real people are going through. I'm a conservative voice. I think I will listen to the people and speak up for the people of Scott County.
Thank you. Thanks for watching this episode of Meet the Candidates 2020. Thank you for watching Meet the Candidates 2020, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Please visit our website at shakopee.org for all of the information you'll need to know leading up to the November 3rd election.